All right, I appreciate that. So I want to touch on a few subjects. Yesterday, like when you asked me what I was in the hole for, I kind of gave like a little runaround thing, Holmes. But I wasn't clear enough, Holmes. So it was bothering me all night. So I want to say what I'm in the hole for. Like I said, dog, like my whole life has been nothing but obtaining that gangster lifestyle, being somebody, and that's where I've been, Holmes. But like I said, dog, everybody has a shelf life. Everybody does. So if you're talking about, oh, I've been down 17 years on a level 4 yard and I've done my whole time the same way, like, dog, you've never been a part of shit. You know what I'm saying? You were probably someone just sitting there, you know what I'm saying, just scared that your name was going to be called. You know? Me, I always raised my hand. I always did everything that I had to do. But it came to me one time, like when I found my wife, right? I found me a beautiful, gorgeous wife. Her name is Pamela. And she showed me that I don't need to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? You can't give yourself fully to being a gangster and then have a wife on the side. It's not going to work. You have to give yourself fully to one or the other, and I chose my wife. So I went up to the homies and I told them, I don't want to be part of you guys no more. So it's just like it's blood in, blood out, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I got smashed. I got smashed by 7 fools first. The next time it was, and I'll never take the coward way out. The next time I came back to the yard, I got smashed again, right? I came back to the yard. The third time I got smashed again. The first time it was 7. The next time it was 10. The next time it was the whole day room. I continued to come back until the cops took me to R&R and they told me, look, we're not letting you back on the yard because you're a threat to the institution. So they took me to the hole. Now I'm pending transfer. So it all goes back to what I've been saying, that the gangster lifestyle is just one man hating on the next. And I'm gonna take you guys back to five years ago, right? When I was in Calipatria Straight Prison, right? And like I said, I've always done shit. I ran yards. I've done this and that. I've been that person. So I was there. I had a seat. In every prison you go to, this is before the senors got let out. There was a mesa, and it depended on who ran that prison at that time. He put somebody in charge that would have a seat for that person. Well, I was on that seat for Whittle, and the secretary at that time was a homie named Ralphie Boy, right? He went by Saint. So I was doing stuff. I used to bring in I used to hit 36 grams every single week, everything like clockwork, homie, stacking it up. You know, but the thing about me, homie, is like I was fully committed to this. So I would make sure he got his cut. I would do my thing, you know, get loaded, whatever, dog. Well, it all, like me and Ralphie, we never got along. That fool was a straight hater, and I caught this fool talking nasty to the senor's wife. And I told that fool, like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, we just play like that. And I told him, no, you don't play like that with her, right? Well, I ended up going from there because they opened up a new 4-yard in Centinela, and they sent me to Centinela, right? And as soon as I got to Centinela, I was there about a week. Toto from Santa Paula and Turtle from Colton walked up to me, and they told me, what's up with our brother's money, right? And I told him, what are you talking about? I don't owe him nothing. He always gets his cut. And the thing about Weddle, you never went by your name. You always went through a girl's name. So I was Jennifer, and he always knew what my name was, right? So I always made sure I gave him his cut. So when they came to me and said, what's up with my brother's money? I told them, like, hey, I always look out for it. They're like, no, we just got word that you stole money. I told them I never took a thing in my life. And they're like, yes, you.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You owe us $10,000 for what you did over in Calipat. And I explained to him, like, I never did nothing wrong, right? Well, Toto, he's like 70 years old, and he has a bad attitude. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, I'm done. And he walked away, and I was like, what the fuck? I told Turtle, like, hey, man, what's up with him? Like I never stole, you know? Well, Turtle's like, let me go talk to him, right? Toto takes off. He's all pissed off. Now I'm tripping, right? I'm tripping. So I go back to my cell, and my cellmate at the time was Ace from Delhi. And I explained to him what's going on. And Ace, you know, you don't want to get involved in none of that stuff. So he kind of like pulled back. So me, I was paranoid on everything now. everything. I strapped up and I got ready, because I'm not about to just leave. No one just leaves. If you're fully committed, you don't just bounce like that. So I go to school, and at the time I have school every day from 8 in the morning until about 11 o'clock before count. And I go to school. About 2 days later, I go to school, and I'm right there kicking it with a homie, and all of a sudden, nowhere, hey, this guy fucking Sleepy never goes to school, ever. And this fool shows up, and he's kicking it with his other homie, right? And these fools are like looking at me, and I noticed them looking at me, so I'm staring back, like, what's up? They keep just smiling and talking amongst themselves, and I'm just staring because I know something's going on, right? But I don't know if it's because I'm paranoid. I don't know if it's because I'm high. I don't know what is going on. So I'm just looking at him. So then Sleepy looks at me and he starts rapping a song on the table, and he's like, I might not make it. I might not make it. This time I just might not make it. And I'm looking at him like, what the hell? Right? And he's smiling at me. So I'm like, all right. So after school we go out and we walk along the track. Well, they have yard out there, right? So I walk up to the homie and I was like, hey, fool, what's going on? Is everything good? And he's like, yeah, fool, everything's good. I was like, you haven't heard my name? And he's like, nah. And I was like, all right. So I go back in, and now I confront my cellie. I was like, hey, homie, I know that they would tell you something's going. He's like, dog, I swear they didn't. They didn't tell me nothing. I was like, all right, homie, because I was ready to blast my cellie. I'm gonna move first, if anything. So I go inside, and then Magoo from Long Beach walks up. Well, he's married now, but this is before. He goes and he walks up to me and he goes, hey, Rascal, hey, dog, we're gonna have to do a highlight later. Let me see your banger. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, let me see your banger. And that's the first thing they do, Doc, when they're about to move on you, homie. They come and they try to disarm you. Because, you know what I'm saying? If you're in level 4 yards, you ain't no coward, homes. So you're there for a reason. So he comes over and he says, hey, let me get your knife. And I was like, hey, Doc, I don't have a knife. He goes, come on, Doc, because we really need it right now. Something's going to happen. And I was like, not fool. I don't have one. And he's like, are you sure? And then he looks at Ace, and Ace kind of nods his head, yes. So I was like, fuck it. Right? So I know something's going on. So they release us for day room. And when I walk out for day room, my heart's pounding out of his chest, right? And I know, because I've been on holidays, I stab fools. I know you don't do it. It's either at the very beginning or at the very end. It's never in the middle. So I go and I get on the phone and I call my sister and I'm chopping it up with her and I'm painting the picture and everything because my radar's going off now. I know something's cracking, right? So I'm looking, I'm seeing who's being bunched up and everything, and I see Sleepy and this homeboy again talking. Sleepy never comes out of his cell. That fool's like a drug addict. He's probably in debt and he had to do this. So we're doing this and that, and I get off the phone, right? And I'm posted up and I'm just chilling by the TV, looking up, but still keeping my back to the wall and kind of peeping out the day room. And in a 270 design, it's just open. It's not like a 180 where it's cut through sections, A, B, and C. It's all open, right? So I walk to the other side and I start peeping everybody out, and it's quiet, homie, right? And it's about maybe about 10 minutes before your day room recall, it gets super quiet, homie. The air, you can feel it, homie. Tension's in the air, something's cracking, and I knew it was me. They said day room recall, and I start walking to my cell, right? And as soon as I got right under the stair area, right, where people can walk upstairs in the housing, this fool walks up to me. I don't know who it is at the time. He walks up to me and trying to give me in a headlock, and I knew something was up, so I put out my hand and he slipped back and he tried to cut my throat. So I back up and I square off. I'm trying to reach for my knife, but these fools are attacking me, right? So it's really hard for me to do it. So I'm backing up and I end up tripping. And these fools are on me and they're stabbing me, and I hear, get down, right? So I jump up and I try to I back up a little bit. I'm bleeding everywhere. I pull out my finger, right? And I'm telling these fools, come on, what's up? And these fools are backing up, trying to get in or whatever, but they couldn't get in. And the hood ended up shooting. They shot the block gun first. And a block gun is basically it looks like an automatic shotgun, but it has a rubber tip at the very end of it, and the cop's supposed to shoot it at the floor first and have it ricochet to hit you, because if they shoot it directly at you, it's so powerful it could bust your head open and kill you. So they shoot it into the floor, and they're yelling out, get down, get down. We were at like a standstill, right? I'm not knowing at the time these fools hit me 11 times, and we're at like a standstill. And like the cops ended up throwing grenades and all that. Well, after this, like we get down, right? Well, I try to get down, and then these fools rushed again at me, so I jump back up. And then the cops come and they spray us. They empty 6 cans on us, right? So we're burned up. We get down, the cops grab us and slam us, right? And they grab me, they take me out first. And when I'm walking out there, well, they take me out there, they make sure make you put your head down, and they handcuff you behind your back, and then they pick you up, and then they walk you out. And when they're walking you out, you can't breathe because of this pepper spray. It's like hard for you to talk, anything. So I'm over here like trying to like not sneeze, and they're like, don't spit, because if you spit, they're gonna slam you to the floor and beat the shit out of you. So I'm trying not to spit, but at the same time, like I'm trying to breathe, and it's really hard to breathe. So these fools end up walking me up to the holding cells, and they put me into the decontamination cells, and I'm right there posted up, right? And they come and they ask me, they're like, look, man, you okay? And I was like, yeah. They're like, do you need medical attention? I was like, no. Right? Well, they had all kinds of, they make you take your shirt off, they check your hands, they make you turn around, they make you do the nurses do this. So I'm right there and I'm turning around, and they see all these holes on me. So they're like, look, man, is it okay for you to breathe? Can you breathe okay? And I was like, yeah. So they're like, everything's fine. So they say, we need to take you outside to the medical hospital. So the ambulance comes, right? I sit, they want me to lay down on a gurney. I'm refusing. I'm not getting on no gurney. So what they do is they have you sit on it. They want you to lay back, but I'm refusing. So they shackle me up, they sit me in a gurney, and they drive me to the hospital. When I'm in the hospital, they check to make the x-ray and make sure that everything's fine, where they didn't puncture nothing, or like I'm going to bleed out on the table and I'm going to die. Right? The whole time, IGI's right there, and they're trying to talk to me about what happened, and I'm refusing any type of comment. Right? So then from there, I stay about maybe like 2 hours. I ended up going all the way back to Centinela, right? And they put me in their little hospital place right there. And
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So they put me in the hospital right there, and they come, and now IGI wants to come and talk to me, and they're telling me that they just got info that they're going to kill me. They're like, look, man, if you go back out there, they're going to kill you, right? So I thought about it, and I was thinking to myself, like, I've done all this for these people. You know what I'm saying? I've given my whole life for these guys, and they're just gonna turn it on me like that. They're gonna try to kill me. So from that moment on, I was like, these guys, like I was again a bully, right? So I ended up going to the hole. And when I got to the back, they asked, as soon as you get to the back, they asked to see your lockup order, and they asked you if you're still pushing. So I was like, yeah, I'm still pushing, right? Because I haven't made up my mind yet all the way, but the cops can't let me back out on the yard because I just got stabbed. So I'm back there, they got me on gyro and everything, and this is all running through my head, like, man, should I?
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I'm over here thinking, like, man, these fools, I'm mad at, like, I want to go out for everybody now, like, I'm super pissed. But also I'm thinking about, like, you can't take the whole yard on. So I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking about it, and I end up going out for a visit and talk to my brother. And my brother tells me, like, look, Doc, you got to do what you got to do, homie, to be safe. And you can't, like, he even said, you can't fight the whole yard, right? So I ended up checking in. And when I checked in, it was one of the biggest, like, it was one of the biggest things I've ever done in my life, where I sat there and actually cried over it. I thought to myself, like, what am I doing? I had instant regret, like, but in the end, homie, like, once they try to fuck you like that, like you can never go out there and feel like you're okay. You know what I'm saying? You're always going to be looking over, and nobody wants to live the rest of their life having to look over their shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it was instant regret, right? But once you make that decision, you can't go back from it. I'll always tell everybody out there, you know what I'm saying, that you could do 1,000 things right. You mess up one time, forever, right? So you guys got, like, you have to remember that at all times. Like, these guys, if you're not part of them, then you're nothing, right? And they will utilize you. They will they will use you any type that they can to benefit themselves, and then once you mess up, they throw you to the curb. That's all this is about. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I ended up on this side. But from that moment on, it took me about 4 months to like actually get kicked out of the hole. But from that moment on, like I made a decision, like I'm not gonna be no follower, no man, nothing. And I was totally against all that, right? Because how can you give 17 years of your life to something? You know what I'm saying? 17 years of your life, and then you mess up. Like you mess up, you don't even mess up. People accuse you of some shit that you never even did, and they get you off. They get off on you after everything I've done. You know what I'm saying? So hell yeah, you know what I mean? Hell yeah, I'm pissed off about it. I still to this day I'm mad because I gave everything to this. That's why I say, like people that say, oh yeah, I did time on level 4 yards, this and that. Homie, you were nothing, dog. You know what I'm saying? You never put in no work. You never did no host time. You never did no shoot time. You know? It's not because if you did, you have a shelf life like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? If you're not made, you're nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I want everyone out there to realize that if you're not made, you're nothing. And that's all I got to say about that. Yeah. Well, they ended up, I don't want to say her name, but they ended up killing her later on. It was Weddle's old lady. Well, it's not cool, you know what I'm saying? He was messing with, that's why I'm saying, dog, there is no boundaries anywhere, homie. If he would have got found out, he would have been done. But what he does, I found out about him, so now he wants to try to smut me up. You know, and they don't come and they don't ask me like, oh man, wait, is this true? No, they take it for his word because he's over here flirting with this girl, and this girl is the senor's wife. You know, so yeah. When I first got to the side, I got sent to High Desert State Prison, and when I got to High Desert State Prison, like I see my homeboy Muggsy right there. Muggsy, he was my son in Calapat. He left because they tried to gun him down, but he took the coward's way. He didn't get gunned down first. He just left, right? But I see Muggsy. I've seen Shy from San Diego. I see all kinds of good homies that were doing stuff for these fools that ended up on the wrong side, and now they're deemed no good. That's why I don't get that. You're deemed no good. You know what I'm saying? Like half these guys were somebody's at some time, and now you guys want to deem them bad. Like I don't get that. Man, that's a good question right there. There's so many people that have just been done bad, you know, like where these fools have just he got politicked on, and he didn't get a chance to speak for his, because they never give you a chance to speak for yours ever. It's like we'll blast him now, we'll ask questions later. That's it. It's never like, hey, let's ask questions now and see if we're wrong here. No, they're always right. But I think the main one that doesn't sit well with me is the homie Rascal. Rascal from Little Santana. He knew everybody, homie. He was validated. He was in the shoot for years with all of them, right? And he was a telepath. I knew him. That's one of my good friends. And he ended up getting done wrong. He got because that something followed him from that stuff that I told you earlier with Mondo, right?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
After everything this guy has ever done for everybody, you know, validation, been stuck with them for all this time, you know, he was done to the county jail, and he sides for Mondo. That's enough for them. They didn't give him like, oh man, you know, you made a mistake, let's help you out. Charlie, let me go. He's in prison now. He went back up to prison. Let's kill this guy. You know, so he ended up getting stabbed like I think 5 different times before he ended up calling it quits. But it doesn't sit right with me after everything he's done, you know, and he was down for like 30 years. He's been down since he was like 15 years old, you know, and he knows everybody. They call him friends, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, friend doesn't mean nothing to these guys, eh? So he goes back upstate, and I'm in Calapat with him, and these fools end up moving on him and trying to kill him on the yard because of something that he did while he was down for court trying to get resentenced as a juvenile. And I just don't get stuff like that, homies. And I get pumped up. I get real pumped up about this because I strongly believe that there is no future in that. You know what I'm saying? And these fools are utilizing youngsters that think this is like the life for them. You know, because I could easily change someone's like a little kid's mind and have them brainwashed where they think like they want to be cool. I was there. I've been there. Like I was brainwashed like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't sit right with me how they could just do that to people that that they call homies, call friends. Like it's just all bullshit to me, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right, Holmes. You're right. That's because I used to use people. You know, I used to when I would feed them all the shit that they needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? To make them do the highly, right? Hey, dog, you're doing it for the casa. You know, we're gonna owe you one. We really appreciate it. The senor, he knows your name. This fool doesn't know your name. I'm just feeding you shit, bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you feel so I can pump you up so you can go stab the next dude, right? So they'll make you feel good. They'll make you feel like you're bumped up. They'll give you dope. You know, like they'll do all this. They'll tell you when you get to the back that you have everything coming. You know, like they make you feel like you're gonna be made off your first hit. But that's not the case, homie. As soon as you get to the back, they're gonna ask you what drugs you brought. They're gonna ask you what you did. They're gonna question you, and then you're just gonna be sitting there. That's it. That's it. Homies. If you're not late, you're nobody. You know, if you don't have the house, you're nobody. But trust and believe, I am gonna feed you everything that you need to hear to do something. But if there's other people right there that volunteer, I don't need to. I don't need to. If you want to be somebody, I don't need to feed you a fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? I could just be like, here's a knife, kill this fool right here. He needs to go. A smart guy will be like, hey, well, what did he do? You know, did he mess up? Can you write me a kite I could take to the back? Well, no one does that. No one does that. No one's smart enough to think about that. Usually it's just like, hey, doc, check it out. This phone needs to go. You become a sureño after this, and you know where it goes from there, dog. Like, if you want, homie, I could connect you with the senor, and you could start making money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I gotta feed you. You're gonna go and you're gonna stab the next man. It doesn't matter. Um, that's really it. Like I'm gonna keep like you guys will always hear more stories from me. You guys gotta remember I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. 13 years old, homie. You know what I'm saying? I checked in, which means basically that I became SNY 5 years ago, right? So from 13 all the way up until I was 35 years old. 35 years old, I'm 40 now. You know, so I'm about to be 40 February 8th. Like, I've been doing the gangster life. Like, this has been my whole thing. Like, I did not care about having a family. I did not care about no one else's family. All I cared about was making a name for myself and having people fear me. That's all I.
This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And like I said, everybody knows Rascal. Everybody does. So I have many more stories to tell. Just stay up, tune in, and I'll keep coming back.